Okay, we are back with another Dragon Ball Daima review. This episode's title is Episode 18, Awakening, a very fitting title. And similarly to the last episode, this episode has no recap, so you know they mean business. And it immediately picks up with Goku transforming into his Super Saiyan 3 form, and he is just standing there and just soaking the spotlight. And then he kind of charges into Goma like very, very slowly, but then immediately he vanishes and immediately punches him, and you can see just how serious Goku looks, and he's just like not playing around anymore. And I really enjoyed fast action with them just flying around and the incredible fight choreography of them just flying around this terrain and fighting at like such a rapid pace. And then Do and Tamagami 1 actually come in to help Goku while he's fighting in the Super Saiyan 3 form against Goma. And while this is happening, Majin Ku kind of gets an idea and he throws like some big cookie over at Do, and Do decides to power up as well, and he goes up next to Goku and just starts screaming like him until he kind of grows like his own, I guess, Majin hair that I guess is supposed to mimic the Super Saiyan 3 look, and it's pretty funny. And they both, fight Goma, and it's like really, really fun visuals and fun choreography. Uh, and then Goma uses like some eyeball blast to kind of blast them away, and this is where kind of Goma is getting like the upper hand once again. And in this scene, like Goku gets beat like pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, he gets put through it like crazy. Um, Goma's just like standing around, and then he's like, okay, this is enough, and then he like gets up to like do his like big blast to I guess finish Goku, but then Neva comes out of nowhere, and he kind of gives or awakens some power inside of Goku, and you start seeing a red glow, and you see these water droplets while Goku's like alone and he's transforming in the spotlight, and you see like it like takes the camera into like his bloodstream almost like showing that something primal, something in his blood is about to happen, and there's a fiery burst and you see those red eyes and you see the fur, and it's like, yeah, it's here. They actually did it. They implemented Super Saiyan 4 in the actual canon. Um, I mean, no one calls it Super Saiyan 4, but I mean, like, if you look at it, it's like obviously Super Saiyan 4. They just haven't given it a name yet, I suppose. But it is Super Saiyan 4 Goku nonetheless. And, you can kind of see him growing for a second. And I'm like, wait, are they actually going to make him an adult? But no, it was just him getting a little bit more buff. And then one thing that does also need to be mentioned is it's instead of the Super Saiyan 4 from GT, which has just Goku in the, with the red fur and the black hair, he actually has the red hair, which makes him look more like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who, just had the red hair when they fused, I guess. But, this one's a little bit different in that he also has the red hair, and you see him, he's got the tail and everything, and Piccolo also does comment about how great the key is or something, so that does mean that it's not like a form like the blue form, which is like the key you can't really sense, or at least when they initially came upon those forms they couldn't really sense them. So this is probably just like an evolution of Super Saiyan, which I mean of course it is Super Saiyan 4. But you know Goku just destroys Goma like crazy, and it's just stunning animation. It's so cool to see him in Super Saiyan 4 just fighting, and they go inside. They do like really interesting things. Like they go inside like a boulder, and they have like Goku in a red color and Goma in a blue color, and then Goku like very in a very satisfying move just absolutely blasts him out of the boulder, and he just goes flying. And another thing is Goku uses like the size difference to kind of his advantage, kind of using Goma's size against him to kind of, twirl around his attacks. And, eventually he hits him with like this big Rasengan, basically. And one thing I noticed is that everyone is kind of helping out. Tamagami 1, Supreme Kai, Glorio. Piccolo, everyone's kind of helping out except Vegeta. Vegeta's just kind of laying there. I'm like, dang, bro, Vegeta, if only you used like that Super Saiyan 3 form, man, maybe we'd have some help. But you know, maybe he'll come in at a later time. But Goku eventually decides to use the Kamehameha, and it's this really cool build up to it. But Goma eventually does interrupt it, and it seems like Goku's not going to be able to fire it off. But Goku is like he perseveres and he fires it back at him, the Kamehameha, and he's like upside down while doing it, and it looks so sick. And he's firing the Kamehameha, and to just like really, I guess put Goma in the dirt, he initiates like this fiery red like aura that just emanates from him, and it kind of flows with the Kamehameha when he shoots it out, and it just uh basically destroys Goma, and it just puts him in the ground. And then Goma is like nowhere to be seen, and then you just see like this really close up image, I guess, of like the eye, and it's like really detailed. And then starts to, I guess, grow in size and become extremely big, and the effects animations just look so good. I mean, this is like goes for like just this entire episode. Like the colors are just so vibrant, and it just really produces a very aesthetically pleasing image, in my opinion. But Big Goma is present now, and he immediately punches Goku away and kind of knocks him back. And then the third eye, I guess, has like some power to depower Goku. And Goku is like, man, how just how powerful is this third eye? And yeah, it is. It does seem pretty broken. But you see him like depowering through all of his transformations. He goes from like his Super Saiyan 4 to Super Saiyan 3 to 2 to 1, uh, and eventually down to his base form. And then you see Glorio get a call from Arinsu, who we know that like they're in some sort of plan together or something. And he kind of in this very dramatic moment he goes up behind Hybis and tricks him into giving him these Dragon Balls. And then he brings it back to Arinsu. And one thing I will note is that in this episode, I don't know if this was used previously in the series as of yet, but they're doing like this really interesting thing where they'll have like these very uh, dramatic moments, and they'll basically make it black and white, or they'll turn everything gray, but they'll leave a few key things um, with color to kind of emphasize some things. Like when Goku is fighting, sometimes it'll be like in that gray form or in that gray tint, but he'll have his eyes glow, or the light from his Kamehameha glow, or a red glow from just his form, basically. And they did the same thing with Glorio's eyes, and it really added some dramatic weight, I thought, visually, visual dramatic weight. And he gathers the Dragon Balls, and of course, Arinsu is saying, she's revealing that she wants to use the Dragon Balls to gain like insane magical power and become like the supreme king of the demon realm. And you can see he's, uh, just cycling through all of his memories with Goku and the gang, and how he's kind of come to become one of their friends. And he's showing like a lot of hesitation, but eventually he does call out the dragon, and we get to see the demon realm Shenron for the first time, and it's this massive red like Porunga from Namek, planet Namek, but it's got like kind of the colors of like the Black Star Dragon from Dragon Ball GT, so it looks kind of red and yellow. And of course, Goma gets a little spooked, and he immediately goes to try and attack this red Porungo, but he immediately just flicks him away in a kind of funny scene. Um, and it's like this really cool visual happens when he eventually says the wish, because Orinsu is like really pressuring him. He says some wish, we don't know what, but he says some wish, and these really stunning visuals start happening. These like oscillating rings start forming around the red Porunga. He's not saying anything, but uh, you just see these rings and these effects, and they just look so good. And then like the sky like quickly shatters or something, and the episode immediately ends. And it felt like, oh man, I was hoping to get more, but I mean, this episode was jam packed. I initially was thinking that episode 17 was the best episode of Daima so far, but this episode, Awakening, was probably the better episode. I think this is definitely the best episode Daima has had so far, with definitely the most exciting reveals and whatnot. It just it this episode was just filled with like really intense action, epic drama, and just stunning visuals. And Vegito didn't really help much, but I'm sure he'll help in another episode in the future. I'm sure, I'm certain. And this episode was like really exciting, and it makes me really excited to see the next episode of Daima, episode 19. I cannot wait.